What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. This time we are going to be doing another episode of Manchester City latest news. So we're going to crack on with all of the happenings this week in terms of Manchester City. Now, first up, we're going to be talking about goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Leroy Sané, which saw Manchester City win 2-0 to get their game in hand back against Cardiff City, and at that time saw us go 1 point clear of Liverpool and took us on to 80 points too, which is a very good points tally, particularly at this stage in the season. And I'd say maybe 19 times out of 20 that you'd probably be well set to win the Premier League. As it is, Manchester City dogging it out with Liverpool. Now, during that game, Zinchenko ended up picking up an injury, which we believe is some kind of minor hamstring injury. Apparently he's going to be out at the time for around 10 days to 2 weeks, so he must be nearing in on coming back within the next week or so. He is currently working on his fitness, so he's able to run around and cycle, so I suspect he may well be resuming full training, possibly even into next week, so he could well be back for the Tottenham game. Well, Champions League or Premier League. It'd probably be for the Premier League. How fit he'll be, I'm not too sure, but it is good news that it isn't a serious injury, so there is that. Now, Sky's announced their next batch of television games, and this is the penultimate weekend. Manchester City are going to be on television against Leicester City at the Etihad Stadium in the penultimate game of the season. It's going to be on Sky Sports. It's going to be the early kickoff on May 4th, which is Saturday, so it's going to be 12:30 PM GMT kickoff time, so just go and convert that into wherever you are in the world, your time zone. Liverpool are going to be playing the day later. They must be hard done by. I'd be pretty angry if I was a Liverpool fan about how many times that they've got to go second when Manchester City are going first, because in my opinion it always has a little bit of a psychological advantage playing first and picking up wins. They've got Newcastle away, which will be played the day later, so good news for us. But for Liverpool, I think it's something like the 6th or 7th game now since we've been battling with them where Manchester City have ended up going first. Yeah. Anyway, Liverpool did play. Speaking of Liverpool, they played Southampton away on the Friday night. City played on the Wednesday in their game in hand. Liverpool then played again. They played against Southampton. They ended up coming from behind to win 3-1, as it put Liverpool back to first and 2 points clear of Manchester City. But 7-goal difference in Manchester City's favour, with us also having a game in hand. 5 left for Liverpool to play in the Premier League and 6 games for Manchester City. City this weekend are playing Crystal Palace away from home. We're playing first again as Liverpool play at Anfield straight after the game between Crystal Palace and Manchester City in their home match against Chelsea. So City can pick up a win, a chance for us to put more pressure onto Liverpool. Because we was playing Cardiff and that game was moved, it meant we had the FA Cup semi-final, and Manchester City played Brighton and Hove Albion at Wembley, and Manchester City ended up coming out with a 1-0 victory in the semi-final thanks to a Gabriel Jesus early goal. And Pep, coincidentally now, has made it to his first ever FA Cup final, so lots for all the Manchester City fans to look forward to here. We've already won the Carabao Cup and we're in the final of the other domestic cup. We're also competing for the Premier League, and we're also at this moment in time also in the Champions League too, but we won't mention that Q word. Watford in the other semi-final came from behind 2-0 down after extra time and ended up sending them through. So a very good win there for Watford. It means that we've got them now in the FA Cup final, and we've had some details announced on that game, which is going to be on May 18th. It's going to be a 5 PM kickoff GMT. Again, convert it to wherever you are in your time zone in the world, but I prefer it to be a 3 o'clock. I'm not too sure why it's so late. It makes it just a little bit more awkward for fans. I mean, FA Cup final, tradition, no one's playing that day. It's just going to be the FA Cup final, 3 o'clock Saturday, Wembley Stadium. Do you know what I mean? They took it away a few years ago and they've kept it at that. I'd rather it, honestly I would, I'd rather it be 5 PM, 3 PM rather than 5 PM. Now City were in the East Stand again, the boring side, rather than the West side, which is what a lot of fans do tend to prefer, because you get, in my opinion, some of the better pubs. 28,000 allocation, a little bit small in my opinion, considering we had, I think it was 33 for the semi-final. Category 4 tickets, £45, category 3 tickets at £70, category 2 tickets at £115, and category 1 tickets at £145. Christ, absolutely awful pricing in my opinion, just rinsing the fans once again. I've had my say on it before. If you watch my videos, you'll see me have my say on it. So we're just going to move on from that. And Bernardo Silva has been announced as the Etihad Player of the Month for March. Absolutely well deserved for Bernardo Silva. He picked up a little injury. Hopefully he'll be back come next week too, and we'll have Bernardo Silva firing on all cylinders. We missed him, didn't we, against Tottenham, so hopefully we can have him back sooner rather than later. And speaking of the midweek game with Bernardo Silva missing, Manchester City were in Champions League action in Tottenham's second ever game at their new stadium. Beautiful stadium, by the way, but unfortunately not good news. Manchester City ended up losing this game 1-0. Yeah, it's not 3-0 like the Anfield match. I've already had a big say on it, a 17-minute long video, which I'll leave at the end of the video if you want to go and check out my thoughts on that one. But Pep put out a bit of a strange team. Means we've got it all to do now in the match at the Etihad Stadium. I'm confident we could still get through. A little bit disappointing, Sergio Aguero missing the penalty. It felt like one of them games where if we'd had Bernardo Silva playing, if we'd had Mendy fully fit, if Aguero had put that penalty away, all these ifs, and Manchester, it'd be a completely different story, but it's not. We need to learn our lessons and make sure we put it right at Etihad Stadium. Obviously, it's still in our hands and it's still very doable. Of course, it's only one goal. Disappointing we've not got an away goal, but we'll move on. Hopefully we can pick up the win that's needed and hopefully be able to win, you'd think, by 2 clear goals to send us through to the semi-final of the Champions League, because that'd be amazing. Speaking of the other Champions League match, Ajax drew 1-1 with Juventus. Juventus did go ahead. They have got that away goal, though, and so you'd think it'd be advantage Juventus. However, Ajax did, I think, lose at the Amsterdam Arena, or the Johan Cruyff Arena, I think it's called now. They did lose to Real Madrid there in the last round and then went to the Bernabeu and won. And so, pretty close. To be fair, all the matches are close in the Champions League quarterfinals, and so everyone's still in it and everyone's still got something to play for, so it makes it a very exciting week coming up. And also I mentioned the Ajax-Juventus match because it is Manchester City's opponents in the semi-finals should we get there, or Tottenham Hotspurs too, and so that's why I'm keeping a close eye on that. They're up on Tuesday, the Juventus-Ajax match. City are playing on the Wednesday, if you didn't know. And just speaking of the FA Cup match before, the ticket details have been announced, and that's what I was saying to you. However, we've not had criteria as of yet when I've made this video as to what category it will be going on sale to. I imagine it won't make it off season ticket sale, so anyone that isn't a season ticket holder probably won't be able to get a ticket for this, unfortunately, unless you've got other means and methods of getting tickets, which City and Watford have got 28,000 each. That's 56,000, which means 34,000 tickets available. It's incredible, isn't it? All to whoever. Odd. There we go. So that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. Make sure if you are interested and you're enjoying the content that you subscribe, press the red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. My social media links, so Twitter and Instagram, they're in the description below if you want to go and check me out on there. If you want to hit me up with any business enquiries, any sponsorships for any videos, or anything you want to see me do or anything like that, then just hit me up on my email, also in description below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all again for the next episode of Manchester City latest news next week. Fingers crossed we're going to have some good news going forward, particularly with this Premier League match coming up and also the Champions League match coming up. Fingers crossed. Things are looking rosy this time next week. Things are a bit bleak. People are losing the plot a little bit. Time for everyone to calm down, I'd say. So I'll see you all again for the next video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.